Hello, beautiful Scorpio souls, and welcome back to Cosmic Blueprints Astrology. I am Sino, and I'm absolutely honored to be here with you today as we explore what the cosmos has in store for all you intense, transformative Scorpio placements in 2026. If you're a Scorpio Sun, Moon, or Rising, this forecast is crafted especially for you. And if you have significant Scorpio placements in your chart, you'll definitely want to stay because 2026 is bringing expansion, freedom, and powerful transformation to your sign. So before we dive in, if you're new to our cosmic community, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a forecast. And to my returning viewers who've been on this journey with me, thank you for your loyalty and support. It truly means everything. Now let's talk about your year ahead, Scorpio. So 2026 is a year of educational expansion, social revolution, and deep personal empowerment. We're going to explore this journey month by month, covering all the major transits, eclipses, and planetary movements that will shape your experience. So get comfortable and let's dive into your cosmic blueprint for 2026. So before we get into the month-by-month breakdown, let's look at the big picture themes that will define your year, Scorpio. The most significant blessing for you is Jupiter spending the first half of your year in Cancer in your ninth house of travel, higher education, philosophy, and expansion before entering Leo on June 30th. So Jupiter in your ninth house until mid-year is one of the most expansive transits. You're being called to broaden your horizons through travel, education, or exploring new beliefs and philosophies. When Jupiter moves into Leo on June 30th, it enters your 10th house of career and public reputation. So the second half of your year brings professional advancement, recognition, and opportunities to step into greater authority and leadership. Your career takes off. Saturn moves into Aries on February 13th, entering your sixth house of health, work, and daily routines. Saturn here for the next 2.5 years asks you to get serious about your health and daily practices, to build sustainable work routines, and to serve others with discipline and commitment. Neptune also enters Aries on January 26th, joining Saturn in your sixth house. Neptune brings spiritual purpose and compassion to your daily work while also asking you to address subtle health issues or create more spiritual daily practices. Together, Saturn and Neptune are calling you to work that serves a higher purpose while maintaining your physical well-being. Uranus makes a major shift on April 25th, moving from Taurus into Gemini. After 7 years of Uranus revolutionizing your seventh house of partnerships, it moves into your eighth house of intimacy, shared resources, and transformation. Your partnerships stabilize while your financial life and deepest emotional connections get innovative and unpredictable. Pluto continues its journey through Aquarius in your fourth house, so transforming your home, family life, and emotional foundations. You're being called to release ancestral patterns and create a home environment that truly supports your deepest self. The North Node shifts from Pisces into Aquarius on July 26th, moving from your fifth house to your fourth house. Your destiny is shifting from creative expression and romance to home, family, and emotional foundations. The second half of your year is about creating security and healing family patterns. Most significantly for Scorpio, Venus goes retrograde in your sign in October. So this is a deeply personal transit that asks you to review your self-worth, relationships, and what brings you pleasure. Let's zoom in on relationships because 2026 brings significant developments in this area for Scorpio. So Uranus in the seventh house for the first part of your year until April 25th brings final, unexpected changes or revelations in partnerships. Uranus has been revolutionizing your relationships for 7 years, and these first few months are the last chapter. Expect sudden clarity, unexpected changes, or final liberation from relationship patterns that are no longer serving you. When Uranus enters your 8th house in April, your partnerships should stabilize. You can build more consistent, reliable relationships now that Uranus isn't constantly disrupting your partnership sector. However, Uranus in the 8th house brings innovation to intimacy and shared resources within partnerships. Chiron entering your 7th house in June begins a healing journey around relationship wounds. Over the coming years, you'll address deep wounds about being chosen, valued, and trusted in partnership. This can be uncomfortable as old hurts surface, but Chiron's ultimate purpose is healing so you can experience authentic partnership. Mars in your 7th house in May energizes your partnerships and motivates you to take action in relationships. This is when you address issues, assert your needs, or actively pursue the kind of partnerships you want. Just be mindful of being too aggressive or creating conflicts unnecessarily. Venus retrograde in your sign in October is deeply significant for relationships. As a Scorpio, you feel everything intensely, and Venus retrograde in your sign asks you to examine your relationship patterns, your self-worth in relationships, and what you actually want in partnerships versus what you think you should want. Venus retrograde can bring back ex-partners or require revisiting relationship decisions. So this isn't necessarily about getting back together. It's about understanding patterns and healing old dynamics so you don't repeat them. Pluto in your 4th house throughout the year affects relationships indirectly through family patterns. Unhealed family dynamics often play out in adult relationships. Pluto is transforming your emotional foundations, which can improve your capacity for healthy adult partnership. The North Node entering your 4th house in July suggests that relationship growth comes through creating emotional security and healing family wounds. The more emotionally secure you feel within yourself, the healthier your partnerships become. So the key message for Scorpio regarding relationships in 2026. Relationships stabilize with Uranus leaving your 7th house, but true intimacy requires healing old wounds with Chiron in the 7th house and understanding your patterns with Venus retrograde in your sign. Be willing to be vulnerable and address deep emotional needs. Now, let's talk about career and finances, areas of significant blessing and change in 2026. Jupiter in your 9th house for the first half of the year supports career growth through education, publishing, teaching, or international work. If your career involves these areas, Jupiter amplifies opportunities. But even if not, pursuing education or expanding your knowledge base can lead to career advancements. When Jupiter enters your 10th house on June 30th, direct career blessings begin. Jupiter in your career sector is one of the best transits for professional success. You may receive promotions, new job offers, increased visibility, or simply more authority and recognition in your field. Jupiter in the 10th house makes you magnetic professionally. People see your talents and want to work with you or promote you. This is excellent timing to pursue leadership roles, apply for positions you want, or expand your business. The total solar eclipse in your 10th house on August 12th, combined with Jupiter there, is incredibly powerful for career. This eclipse opens a new chapter professionally. You may start a new job, launch a business, step into leadership, or receive recognition that significantly advances your career. Eclipses bring unexpected developments, so be open to opportunities that arise suddenly around this time. The universe is supporting your professional growth in ways you may not have anticipated. With Jupiter blessing your 10th house from June onward and the eclipse there in August, your second half of 2026 is incredibly strong for career. Use this period to advance professionally, take on more responsibility, and position yourself for long-term success. Financially, Uranus entering your 8th house in April revolutionizes shared resources. The 8th house governs joint finances, investments, inheritance, taxes, and other people's money. Uranus here brings unexpected changes and innovations in these areas. Some Scorpios may experience sudden changes in shared finances, so inheritances, settlements, or shifts in joint accounts with partners. Other Scorpios may discover innovative investment strategies or unconventional ways to build wealth through other people's resources. The key with Uranus in the 8th house is flexibility. Don't expect financial stability in areas involving shared resources. Build your own financial security through your 2nd house, even as the 8th house remains unpredictable. Saturn and Neptune in your 6th house affect career through your work ethic and daily practices. Saturn asks for discipline and consistency in your work, while Neptune asks that your work have spiritual meaning. Together, they're helping you build a career that's both practically sustainable and soulfully satisfying. The overall career message is strong educational and philosophical growth through Jupiter in the 9th house in the first half of your year, followed by direct professional advancement and recognition with Jupiter in your 10th house in the second half of your year, plus the eclipse. Your career is truly blessed this year, Scorpio. Financially, focus on building your own resources through the 2nd house while remaining flexible about shared resources with Uranus in the 8th house. The eclipse in your 10th house and Jupiter there support increased income through career advancements. Let's talk about your health and wellness for 2026, which is particularly important given the strong 6th house emphasis. So Saturn and Neptune in your 6th house throughout the year make health a major focus. Saturn asks you to take your physical health seriously and build sustainable practices. Neptune asks you to consider health holistically, so mind, body, spirit, and emotions. Saturn in the 6th house can initially manifest as health challenges that require attention, or it may simply demand that you get serious about self-care. The key is building daily routines and habits that support long-term health rather than just reacting to problems. Saturn rewards consistency. If you commit to regular exercise, healthy eating, adequate sleep, and stress management, Saturn will help you build a foundation of a wellness that lasts. If you ignore health, Saturn may bring challenges that force you to pay attention. Neptune in your 6th house increases sensitivity and asks for gentle, holistic health approaches. You may be drawn to alternative medicine, energy healing, or practices that address the spiritual or emotional roots of physical issues. Neptune is excellent for mind-body medicine, meditation for healing, or any approach that recognizes the interconnection of all aspects of health. However, Neptune can also create confusion about health or make you vulnerable to health fads or misleading information. The key is discernment, so be open to holistic approaches, but also stay grounded in reality and consult qualified professionals. Mars in your 6th house in April energizes your health and motivates you to take action. So this is an excellent time to start new fitness programs, address health issues proactively, or simply be more active and engaged with your well-being. Chiron moving between your 6th and 7th houses touches on health through the connection between work service wounds and relationship wounds. Sometimes our health suffers because we're overworking or in unhealthy relationships. So Chiron asks you to heal the emotional wounds that may be manifesting physically. So as a Scorpio, your health is intimately connected to your emotional intensity. When you're holding on to resentment, anger, jealousy, or other intense emotions without processing them, these can manifest physically. The 6th house emphasis this year asks you to develop healthy ways to process your deep emotions rather than suppressing them. So Scorpio traditionally rules the reproductive system and eliminative organs in medical astrology. These areas may need extra attention this year, so make sure you're addressing any reproductive health concern and that your body is eliminating toxins effectively through proper hydration, fiber, and healthy elimination. Your transformative nature can be a health asset if you use it consciously. You have the ability to completely transform your health through focused intention and discipline. When Scorpio decides to get healthy, you go all in with intensity and commitment, so use that gift. The eighth house emphasis with Uranus entering in April also connects to health through psychology. So deep psychological work, therapy, shadow work, addressing trauma, all these can have profound healing effects on physical health. Don't underestimate the power of addressing deep emotional and psychological issues for overall well-being. So, your overall health guidance for 2026 is build sustainable daily routines that support health with Saturn in the sixth, explore holistic approaches that address root causes with Neptune in your sixth, process emotions healthily rather than suppressing them, address any health issues proactively with Mars in the sixth in April, and recognize that psychological healing supports physical healing with Uranus in the eighth house. Now let's dive into January, which begins your expansive Jupiter year. The month opens with Jupiter in Cancer in your ninth house of travel, education, and philosophy. Jupiter here until June 30th is incredibly supportive of learning, travel, and expanding your worldview. This is your time to explore, study, and grow beyond your current understanding. Jupiter in the ninth house is excellent for going back to school, taking courses, traveling to meaningful places, exploring different philosophies or spiritual traditions, or simply opening your mind to new perspectives. You're hungry for knowledge and growth. On January 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius, moving into your fourth house of home and family. Mars here motivates you to take action on domestic matters, so renovations, moves, addressing family issues, or simply creating a home that feels truly yours. You're energized to make your home environment exactly what you need. The most significant transit of the month happens on January 26th when Neptune enters Aries, moving into your sixth house of work, health, and daily routines. Neptune in this house brings spiritual purpose to your work and asks you to consider health holistically, mind, body, and spirit. Neptune in the sixth house can draw you to healing professions, service work, or jobs that involve compassion and helping others. You may feel called to work that serves a higher purpose rather than just earning money. However, Neptune can also create confusion about work or making you vulnerable to being taken advantage of in service roles. The key is serving with boundaries. Neptune here also affects health by increasing sensitivity. You may need to be more mindful of what you put into your body, what environments you're in, and how stress affects you. Neptune asks for gentle, holistic approaches to health rather than harsh or aggressive treatments. So January is asking you to expand your mind through Jupiter in the ninth house while creating a purposeful daily life with Neptune in the sixth and energizing your home with Mars in the fourth. You're growing both outward and inward simultaneously. February brings several major transits that deepen your commitment to service and health. On February 3rd, Uranus goes retrograde in Taurus in your seventh house. Uranus has been retrograde since September 2025, and now it's moving forward again for its final months in your partnership sector. This direct motion can bring final revelations or sudden changes in partnerships before Uranus moves into your eighth house in April. The biggest shift of the month comes on February 13th when Saturn enters Aries, moving into your sixth house to join Neptune. Saturn in the sixth house for the next 2.5 years brings structure, discipline, and responsibility to your work, health, and daily routines. Saturn in the sixth house asks you to take your health seriously, to build sustainable work practices, and to serve others with commitment rather than just good intentions. This is about creating daily routines and habits that support your long-term well-being and professional effectiveness. Saturn here can initially feel restrictive. Your work may demand more discipline, your health may require more attention, or your daily routines may need more structure. But Saturn's gift is mastery. By the time Saturn leaves your sixth house, you'll have built habits and routines that truly serve you. With both Saturn and Neptune now in your sixth house, you have structure and spirituality, discipline and compassion, and routine and flow all working together in your daily life. The key is integrating both, so building sustainable practices that also honor your spiritual and emotional needs. On February 26th, Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces in your fifth house of creativity, romance, and self expression. This retrograde asks you to review how you express yourself creatively and romantically. Are you being authentic? What creative projects need revisiting? Mercury retrograde gives you time to reflect before taking action. So February is fundamentally about committing to meaningful work and health with Saturn in the sixth house, while reviewing your creative and romantic expression with Mercury retrograde in the fifth. You're building structure and service while remaining fluid in self-expression. March brings powerful eclipse energy and continued focus on creativity and service. On March 2nd, Mars enters Pisces, moving into your fifth house of creativity, romance, and pleasure. Mars here energizes your creative life and romantic pursuits. You're motivated to create, to express yourself boldly, and to pursue pleasure and joy actively. Mars in your fifth house is passionate, playful, and willing to take risks for love or creative expression. This is excellent energy for starting creative projects, being more direct in romantic pursuits, or simply having more fun. The very next day, March 3rd, we have a full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo in your 11th house of friendships, groups, and aspirations. This is a powerful culmination or ending related to your social life or long-term goals. Lunar eclipses are about release. The eclipse asks, what friendship has run its course? What group involvement no longer serves you? What aspirations need to be released so you can focus on what truly matters? This eclipse is clearing your social landscape. The 11th house is also about your vision for the future. This eclipse may bring clarity about what you actually want to achieve long term versus what you thought you should want. Trust the release. It's making space for more authentic social connections and goals. On March 10th, Jupiter goes direct in Cancer in your ninth house. So Jupiter has been retrograde since November 2025, and now it's moving forward again, accelerating opportunities for travel, education, and expansion. The final months before Jupiter moves into Leo are particularly potent for learning and growth. So March is about releasing social connections that don't serve you through the eclipse in the 11th house, while taking action on creativity and pleasure with Mars in the 5th house, and receiving opportunities for expansion with Jupiter direct in the 9th house. So you're clearing space while growing. April brings significant planetary shifts that affect your partnerships and intimate life. On April 9th, Mars enters Aries, moving into your sixth house to join Saturn and Neptune. So Mars here gives you the energy and drive to improve your health, perfect your work, and tackle daily tasks efficiently. Combined with Saturn and Neptune, you have motivation, structure, and spiritual purpose, all focused on service and health. Mars in your sixth house is excellent for starting new health routines, organizing your work life, or addressing practical matters you've been avoiding. You have the energy to make real improvements. Then on April 25th, Uranus enters Gemini, moving from your seventh house into your eighth house of intimacy, shared resources, transformation, and psychological depth. This is major Scorpio. After 7 years of Uranus revolutionizing your partnerships, the planet of innovation moves into your eighth house. Uranus in your eighth house for the next 7 years brings unexpected changes to your financial life, especially shared resources, innovative approaches to intimacy and sexuality, and sudden psychological insights or breakthroughs. This can be intense territory for you, Scorpio, because you already naturally operate in eighth house themes. So Uranus here can manifest as sudden changes in joint finances, inheritance matters, or shared resources. Your approach to intimacy and sexuality may evolve in unexpected ways. You may experience sudden psychological insights that transform your understanding of yourself and others. Some Scorpios will thrive under Uranus in the 8th house by embracing innovative financial strategies, exploring new dimensions of intimacy, or using psychological insights for transformations. And then other Scorpios will struggle with the unpredictability in areas where you crave depth and control. With Uranus leaving your 7th house, your partnerships should finally stabilize after years of unexpected changes. You can build more consistent relationships now. So April is about taking action on health and service with Mars in the 6th, while your intimate and financial life begins to revolutionize with Uranus in the 8th. You're being asked to be both disciplined and flexible. May continues the focus on health and service while adding some reflective elements. With Mars still in your 6th house, you're actively working on health improvement and work organization. This is a productive time for you because you naturally excel at focused, persistent effort towards goals. On May 6th, Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius in your 4th house. Pluto has been transforming your home and family life, and now it's retrograde until October. So this is a time to integrate the transformations rather than push deeper. Pluto retrograde asks, how has your home life transformed? What family patterns have you released? What ancestral healing have you done? This retrograde gives you time to consolidate the profound changes in your emotional foundations before Pluto moves forward again. On May 18th, Mars enters Taurus, moving into your 7th house of partnerships. Mars here motivates you to take action in your one-on-one relationships, to assert your needs with partners, or to actively pursue the partnerships you want. This is direct, determined energy applied to relationships. Mars in Taurus in your 7th house is steady and committed. You're not rushing relationships. You're building them more persistently and consistently. This is excellent for strengthening existing partnerships or attracting stable, committed partners if you're single. So May asks you to balance ongoing service and health work, which has been strong with multiple planets in your 6th house, with relationship action through Mars in the 7th house and home transformation with Pluto retrograde in the 4th. You're working on multiple life areas simultaneously. June is a significant month with Jupiter preparing to enter your career house. On June 19th, Chiron enters Taurus, moving into your 7th house of partnerships. Chiron is the wounded healer, and in your partnership sector, it brings up wounds around relationships, feeling chosen, being valued by others, or trusting in partnerships. Chiron in the 7th house can surface old relationship wounds, so abandonment, betrayal, not feeling worthy of love, or difficulty trusting others. But Chiron's purpose is healing these wounds so you can experience authentic, healthy partnerships. This placement is also about becoming a healer through relationships. Your relationship struggles become wisdom that can help others navigate their own partnership challenges. On June 28th, Mars enters Gemini, moving into your 8th house. So Mars here energizes your exploration of psychological depth, intimacy, and shared resources. You're motivated to go deep, to understand yourself and others at fundamental levels, and to address financial matters involving others. Mars in Gemini in the 8th house is curious and communicative about depth topics. You may be researching psychology, having deep conversations, or actively managing shared resources. The very next day, June 29th, Mercury goes retrograde in Cancer in your 9th house. This retrograde asks you to review your beliefs, educational plans, or travel aspirations. Are you pursuing learning that actually matters to you? Is your worldview serving you? Mercury retrograde gives you time to reassess before Jupiter enters your career house. Then on June 30th, Jupiter enters Leo, moving from your ninth house into your 10th house of career and public reputation. So, of course, this is huge, Scorpio. Jupiter's blessings shift from expansion and learning to professional advancement and recognition. Jupiter in your 10th house for the next year brings career opportunities, professional recognition, and advancement. You may receive promotions, new job offers, increased visibility, or simply more respect and authority in your field. This is time to shine professionally and step into leadership. So June is about healing relationship wounds through Chiron in the 7th, going deep emotionally and financially with Mars in the 8th, reviewing your beliefs with Mercury retrograde in the 9th, and preparing for career blessings with Jupiter entering the 10th. It's a transitional month setting up the second half of your year. July begins your blessed career period while bringing important retrograde activity. So with Jupiter now in your 10th house, your professional life is expanding. People see your talents and want to work with you. Opportunities come more easily. This is excellent timing to apply for promotions, pursue leadership roles, or expand your business if you're self-employed. On July 7th, Neptune goes retrograde in Aries in your 6th house. So Neptune has only been in Aries since January, and now it's retrograde until December. This retrograde helps you integrate the spiritual lessons about work and service. Neptune retrograde can provide clarity about your work purpose after the initial confusion of Neptune entering your 6th house. You may better understand what kind of service truly calls to you or see more clearly through workplace illusions. July 26th is a significant day with two major astrological events. So, first, Saturn goes retrograde in Aries in your 6th house. Saturn entered this house in February and now it's retrograde until mid-November. So, this retrograde gives you time to review your work routines and health practices. Saturn retrograde asks, are your daily routines sustainable? Are you being too rigid with health practices or not disciplined enough? Are you serving others at the expense of yourself? This retrograde helps you find the right balance. Also on July 26th, the North Node retrograde enters Aquarius, moving from Pisces into your 4th house. This is a major shift in your destined path. For the past 18 months, the North Node in Pisces was calling you to creative expression, romance, and joy. Now, North Node in Aquarius is calling you to home, family, emotional security, and healing ancestral patterns. Your destiny for the next 18 months involves creating a stable home base, addressing family dynamics, healing emotional wounds, and building true security from within. This is about going inward to your roots rather than outward to creative expression. So July is about career advancements with Jupiter in the 10th, while reviewing work and health with Saturn and Neptune retrograde in the 6th, and shifting toward home and family with the North Node in the 4th. So you're balancing professional success with personal foundation building. August is eclipse season, bringing powerful catalysts for change in your home life and social sphere. On August 3rd, Chiron goes retrograde in Taurus in your 7th house. So Chiron entered this house in June and now it's retrograde, which will actually take it back into Aries on September 17th. This back and forth motion shows you're transitioning between healing work wounds in the 6th house and healing relationship wounds in the 7th house. Chiron retrograde asks you to review what's surfaced about your relationship patterns and partnership wounds. This is internal healing work, so be patient with yourself. On August 11th, Mars enters Cancer, moving into your 9th house of travel, education, and philosophy. So Mars here motivates you to actively pursue learning, travel, or exploring new beliefs. You're energized to expand your mind and horizons. Mars in Cancer in your ninth house is emotionally connected to learning. You want to study what truly matters to you, to travel to places that touch your heart, and to explore beliefs that resonate with your soul. The very next day, August 12th, we have a new moon total solar eclipse in Leo in your 10th house. Now, this is a massive new beginning in your career and public life. Solar eclipses are fresh starts, and this one is opening a powerful new chapter professionally. Combined with Jupiter also in your 10th house, this eclipse is supercharged for career opportunities. You may start a new job, launch a business, step into leadership, or simply receive recognition that opens doors. This eclipse is planting seeds for significant professional growth. Whatever begins around this time related to your career has long-term significance. Be open to unexpected opportunities and trust that the universe is supporting your professional advancements. Then on August 28th, we have a full moon partial lunar eclipse in Pisces in your 5th house of creativity, romance, and self-expression. Now, this eclipse is a culmination or ending related to creative projects, romantic relationships, or how you've been expressing yourself. Lunar eclipses are about release. What creative project is complete? What romantic dynamic needs to end? What way of expressing yourself no longer serves your authenticity? This eclipse is clearing your creative and romantic life as your destiny shifts towards home and family. So the two eclipses together, the solar in your 10th house and the lunar in your 5th house, are balancing professional advancement with personal joy, public recognition with private pleasure, and career ambition with creative expression. You're being asked to succeed professionally without sacrificing your capacity for joy and creativity. September brings transitions as summer ends and you integrate the eclipse transformations. So September 10th, Uranus goes retrograde in Gemini in your 8th house. Uranus just entered this house in April and now it's retrograde until early 2027. This retrograde turns the revolutionary energy inward, helping you integrate changes in intimacy and shared resources. Uranus retrograde in your 8th house may bring psychological insights or require revisiting financial matters involving others. You're consolidating the transformations before Uranus goes direct and continues the external revolution. On September 17th, Chiron retrograde re-enters Aries, moving back into your 6th house. So Chiron dips back into your work and health sector for one final healing push before it fully commits to your partnership house next year. Pay attention to what comes up emotionally around work or health during this time. Old wounds about not being good enough, not serving well enough, or not being healthy enough may resurface for a final healing. September is Scorpio season approaching. You're moving toward your birthday and solar return. So this is a good time to reflect on the year so far and set intentions for your new personal year beginning in late October. The focus on work and health all year with multiple planets in your 6th house has likely transformed your daily life significantly. You're more disciplined, more spiritually connected to your work, and more conscious of your health needs. October is an incredibly significant month for Scorpio with Venus retrograde in your sign. So on October 3rd, Venus goes retrograde in Scorpio in your sign. This is deeply personal, Scorpio. Venus retrograde in your 1st house asks you to review your self-worth, your self-presentation, relationships, and what brings you pleasure. Venus retrograde in your sign is a rare opportunity for deep self-examination. How do you value yourself? Do you recognize your worth? Are you being authentic in how you present yourself to the world, or are you hiding your true nature? What actually brings you pleasure versus what you think should bring you pleasure? This retrograde can also bring back ex-partners or old relationship patterns. Venus retrograde in your sign asks you to review your approach to relationships and ensure you're not repeating unhealthy dynamics. On October 15th, Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius in your 4th house. So Pluto has been retrograde since May and now it's moving forward again, accelerating the transformation of your home and family life. Changes that were internal during the retrograde may now manifest externally, perhaps moves, family shifts, or emotional breakthroughs. On October 24th, Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio, also in your sign. This compounds the Venus retrograde themes. Communication about yourself, your identity, and your needs becomes important. You're reviewing and possibly revising how you present yourself and communicate your truth. Mercury retrograde in your sign is excellent for deep self-reflection, journaling, therapy, or any practice that helps you understand yourself better. Just avoid making major identity-based decisions until Mercury goes direct. The very next day, October 25th, Venus retrograde enters Libra, moving into your 12th house of spirituality and the subconscious. So Venus retrograde shifts from self-examination to reviewing your spiritual life and hidden patterns. Venus retrograde in your 12th house asks about self-love and compassion. Are you kind to yourself? Do you have spiritual practices that bring you peace? What hidden beliefs or patterns are you blocking from receiving love and pleasure? October is fundamentally a month of profound self-examination, with both Venus and Mercury retrograde touching your sign. This is rare and powerful, so use this time for deep inner work. November brings some relief as retrogrades end, and you can move forward with greater self-understanding. On November 25th, Mars enters Virgo, moving into your 11th house of friendships, groups, and aspirations. So Mars here energizes your social life and motivates you to actively pursue your long-term goals. You're taking action in groups or communities and assertively pursuing what you want to achieve. Mars in Virgo in your 11th house is detail-oriented and practical about friendships and goals. You're selective about who you spend time with and strategic about how you pursue your aspirations. Around mid-November, both Mercury and Venus go direct, which brings relief to the identity and self-worth challenges of October. You have clarity about who you are, what you value, and what you want in relationships. Of course, November is Scorpio season, your birthday month. So this is your solar return, your personal new year. With the profound self-examination you've done in October, you're entering your new personal year with deep self-understanding. Set intentions for your new solar year that honor your authentic self, not who you think you should be, but who you actually are. What do you want to create? How do you want to grow? What relationships and work truly serve your soul? So Scorpio season is your power time. You're naturally at your strongest during this period, and with Jupiter blessing your career, you're positioned for significant professional success this birthday year. December closes out the year with Sagittarius energy and a significant Jupiter retrograde. On December 12th, Jupiter goes retrograde in Leo in your 10th house. So Jupiter has been blessing your career since June, and now it's retrograde until early 2027. This isn't a problem. This is asking you to integrate the professional growth rather than continuing to expand externally. So Jupiter retrograde in your 10th house asks, are you pursuing the right career path or just following external measures of success? Is your public image authentic? Are you being recognized for your real talents or for performance? This retrograde helps you ensure your professional life aligns with your authentic self. Jupiter retrograde is also a time to consolidate professional gains. What opportunities opened since June? How can you make the most of them? What aspects of your career advancements are sustainable versus temporary? December is Sagittarius season, activating your second house of money, possessions, and self-worth. This brings focus to your financial life and what you value materially. Sagittarius energy here is optimistic about prosperity and wants to expand your resources. So as the year winds down, take time to reflect on the extraordinary journey you've experienced. You started 2026 with Jupiter supporting your expansion, education, bringing opportunities for travel and learning. You navigated Saturn and Neptune entering your sixth house, calling you to meaningful work and holistic health. You experienced Uranus moving from your partnership sector to your intimacy sector, stabilizing relationships while revolutionizing your financial and psychological life. You witnessed your destiny shift from creative expression to home and family as the North Node entered your fourth house. You received Jupiter's incredible blessing when it entered your career house, bringing professional recognition and advancement. You had a total solar eclipse in your career sector, a profound professional reset. You worked through Venus retrograde in your sign, deeply examining your self-worth and relationships. So you're ending the year with career success with Jupiter in the 10th house, deeper self-understanding with the Venus retrograde in your sign, and clearer direction about your home and emotional foundations with the North Node in the 4th. You've transformed Scorpio in ways that honor both your intensity and your need for authentic connection. So as we wrap up this comprehensive forecast, let's talk about my advice for navigating 2026. First, embrace the educational and expansive opportunities Jupiter brings in the first half of the year. Travel if you can, study what fascinates you, explore new beliefs and philosophies. This learning prepares you for the career advancements coming in the second half. Second, when Jupiter enters your career house in June, go for what you want professionally. Apply for promotions, pursue leadership, expand your business. Jupiter only comes through your 10th house every 12 years, so this is your time to advance. Don't be modest or hold back. Third, take your health and daily routines seriously. Saturn in your 6th house rewards consistency and discipline. Build habits that will serve you for years. Also explore holistic approaches that honor the mind-body-spirit connection with Neptune in the 6th. Fourth, create a secure emotional foundation. With the North Node in your 4th house and Pluto transforming your home life, you're being called to heal family wounds and create genuine security. Do the work to feel safe and rooted within yourself. Fifth, use Venus retrograde in your sign for deep self-examination. This is rare and powerful. Look honestly at your relationship patterns, your self-worth, and your authentic nature. The insights you gain will improve every area of your life. Sixth, embrace the financial and psychological innovations Uranus brings to your 8th house. So be flexible about shared resources and open to unexpected insights about your deepest self. Transformation is your speciality, Scorpio. Trust the process. Seventh, balance your intensity with sustainability. Scorpio goes all in with everything, which is powerful but can also be exhausting. Saturn in your 6th house is teaching you that sustainable practices serve you better than intense bursts followed by burnout. And finally, remember that you're the sign of transformation, depth, and power, Scorpio. You have an extraordinary ability to go deep, to transform completely, and to face what others fear and to emerge stronger. You see through superficiality to truth. You understand power dynamics. You're not afraid of darkness because you know it's where transformation happens. 2026 is asking you to use these gifts for your own healing and advancement. Transform your daily life through disciplined health practices. Advance your career through strategic professional moves. Deepen your self-understanding through honest self-examination. Create emotional security through family healing, and build wealth through innovative approaches to shared resources. This is your year to go deep, transform, and emerge more powerful, healthy, and professionally successful than ever. You're building a life that honors both your need for intensity and your need for stability, both your desire for transformation and your need for security. The work you're doing this year, the health practices, the career advancement, the emotional healing, the self-examination, it's all creating a foundation for long-term success and well-being. Trust the process even when it's intense or uncomfortable. Transformation is never easy, but it's what you do best. So thank you so much for spending this time with me exploring your 2026 forecast. If this resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment sharing what you're most excited about. So career advancements, educational expansion, or personal transformation. And subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss the monthly forecast throughout the year. Wishing you a powerful, transformative, and successful 2026, Scorpio. May you expand your mind and career, heal your depths, build unshakable health, and create the emotional security that allows you to thrive. You are powerful beyond measure, Scorpio. Own it. But until next time, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.